Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. The Rebel Man is back, so stay tuned for this Monday night soiree. Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, another week has started, and the Man United agenda is here once again. The old faces of myself, OMONDI Juma, and the King of Cool himself, Mr. B, are in the building. How are we doing, gentlemen?
Good. Enjoying this semi-Sunday feeling that I've had all day.
It does. It feels like a Sunday still. We're just saying before the show how this long weekend is beautiful. I mean, next week as well. I don't know about you guys in Ireland, but we've got another bank holiday weekend to look forward to because of the King's coronation or something like that. Yeah, so I'm loving this, man. Weather's nice. There's lots of sport on TV. Watching the snooker, watching the F1, watching lots of football. Obviously, Man United getting a great result yesterday. So I'm really enjoying it, man. I'm getting fat. I've had a lot big dinner. I've got some apple pie and cream coming up next after the show. So yeah, man, I'm buzzing. I'm really happy.
Speaking of buzzing and things for after the show, bada bing, bada boom, the realest agenda story in the room. We have a fancy new PDF for you, and if you look in the middle, there's a QR code. So all you have to do is take out your mobile phone, put your camera up to it, and that will take you direct to the website. So you do not even have to burn your fingers typing in the address anymore. We have done the work for you. And as you can see, one of our mainstays of merchandise, the Man United agenda mug, is looking at you. That's proud right. And large. And it is Bruno.
Yeah, that's work.
Bruno's well worth in a mug with Bruno on because his form this season has been brilliant. I'm just looking at it now. I think, yeah, I deserve a Bruno mug. So I think that's going to be my next order, followed by Sancho, because as you will hear in the show today, I don't want Sancho to go.
Are you signing the contract like the pen underneath the Man United Agenda store banner?
I will be, 100%. A lot of good people in the house, by the way. We've got Adil's in the house. He's saying hello. Got Bath Time here. Bath Time saying, oh my God, it's Bank Holiday Casual Rebel. Yes, he's got his NBA shirt on today. We've got it's 100% Sancho should not be sold. He's giving it away. My thoughts exactly. Bart saying, hi guys, what's up? Did you see your manager yell at Tierney as we beat Spurs? Oh, our manager, talking about Klopp. Obviously, he's a Liverpool fan. Evening, lads from Ed Mayhem. How you doing? 6 days to go, Ed. I've seen on my Twitter how one mad high. However, back to Manchester United. And we've got HG Gamer. Ahmad to take Sancho's place. He's saying already. And Bart saying here about the Sheikh would make a great owner for us. He would give the keys to the war chest to Klopp as we continue to make history in the Premier League and European football. Obviously, it's not about Liverpool, but it's about Man U. And Taboo, how you doing, man? He said one last season, and we will talk after, talking about Sancho, naturally.
There we go. Now, gentlemen, we have an appetizer and we have the main event. Obviously, the main event will be Mr. Jadon Sancho, but I'm going to whet the appetite. I'm going to stir the pulses, and I'm going to incite comment. We have reports today in many media outlets following yesterday's protest against the Glazer family remaining at Manchester United Football Club, and the bias is palpable in what is being reported. Some men are reporting that only 700 to 1,000 Manchester United fans engaged in activities yesterday protesting against the negligence of the current owners. That could not be further from the truth. So what I want to know from our viewers while we tease this out is, what do you think the narrative is trying to support? Are they bought and paid for Glazer stands? Are they trying to push Sir Jim back into the race? Or are they just simply in the business of selling papers? No matter what doo-doo they stick in between the covers. Let us know in the comments because we want to know. But gentlemen, For ye, I have a more pressing concern. We should the unthinkable happen, and Joel and Avram remain at our club, and they partner up as the minority parties to a Sir Jim Radcliffe owned Manchester United. The question I have for ye, because I saw a disturbing headline today. Sir Jim has stated that he will demand control of the summer window. The man, if he was in that position, would own the majority of Manchester United Football Club. Why is there a need for him to demand anything at that point? Is this a red flag that needs to be nipped in the bud ASAP?
Was that your question?
Yeah.
Good on, Dave.
Yeah, I'm kind of snappy today when you sort of stir me up like that, Rebel, with these sort of comments. I think demand and control, let's not get overreact here. Demand and control means he wants to have a decision. So there's a process. So maybe the manager would say, look, I'm looking to this guy, and he would have some sort of control over that. Say, all right, yeah, we can go through that. So he probably is a footballing man who wants to have that kind of access to talk to the manager about it. But I don't think that's undermining the manager in any way. I don't know. We don't know yet. We're just speculating. I'm speculating. But I don't think that means he's controlling everything. It's his decision. He's just going to bring in players, as we do with certain clubs now, and the manager has no say and just has to work with them. I think the manager's got respect, and I think the manager won't be there if it is the case that he has that sort of control. So I think it just means he wants to have some part of the decision-making and make it a group thing rather than just being down to the manager, for example. But I do think the manager's got respect by the club. Trust me. Anyone taking over now will definitely be talking to Ten Hag and making agreements with him.
I think we might have gone down the wrong line. The person that he's looking to demand control of it from is not the manager. He'd be working obviously in conjunction with the manager. It is the current incumbents, the rats across the water, the Glazer family, that he's trying to demand control of it from. If he's after spending X amount of billions to reduce them to a minority silent partner, if that is what the proposal is, because none of the crap that's in the newspapers is true anyway, because every single one of them's behind an NDA, sorry. Why would he need to demand control from Joel and Abram Muppet across the water in America, Mr. B?
I'm going to be honest. I don't want him anywhere near the club. From when you're talking about him being with this making decisions with Abram or whatever it is, I don't understand. Obviously, the papers are going to print what they want to print. We're not privy to what's going on, but a lot of it does sound a bit nonsense. A bit of nonsense, to be fair. You've got him knowing the whole fan base want the Glazers nowhere near the club, but he's going to get into bed with them and give them 20%. He's then demanding, well, if you own, 30% more than the other two, then they're not going to have a say in anything anyway. My issue is, what happens to the other 30% of shares? Where are those? Are those just up in the sky? Can Avram then go and buy the other 30% of the shares? Then they have 50-50. We know we want a full sale, and there was a little comical thing saying that maybe the fan should have said not Glazers out, but we want a full sale instead of saying Glazers out. So I know there's a lot of joking on our part. Oh, we're going to get the sale. Now all of a sudden it's not the sale that we want, and the United fans are up in arms. Even it becoming public that he's going to get into bed with the Glazers is very, 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 very disturbing. Does that mean he pays less money? He doesn't have the amount that they want? Because let's be honest, if the Glazers can get, a 3 billion and still have Manchester United as their, their trophy, their Cronkies in the States is, oh, I've got Arsenal, whoever's got the Manchester United is still the big boy. So that's the baby that they would be having. So I'm really not understanding what is going on. We know what we would prefer, but I think the Glazers would love to have a little fondle with what's his name there, Mr. Ineos.
Wish we could hear you.
My apologies. I had hit the mute on the double on this mic, but very good points, Mr. B. I think the word you were searching for is the Glazer family want to maintain access to the Manchester United ATM, that money printing machine that is our football club.
So how could
But
that work then? If they've got 20%, how can they still be demanding their 25 million? They've been paid their money. So what does it mean that they're not going to get paid any money? They're going to just invest. This man's just going to come and invest all of his money in a club and still have those rats in there over his head. I mean, all of his business are going to go down the toilet. Let's be honest.
what
Because then he's going to be spending all of this money. People still aren't going to be buying from the mega store. People are still going to be doing their little side hustles to get their shirts and their whatever. So it makes no sense.
the interesting thing here is actually that the reason why the two rats are trying to stay is because part of the reported deal that's it's not even in the reported public because of the NDA. The speculation is that they would have a premium that Surgeon would have to pay for their shares either in the next 12 or 24 months, should he wish to do so. There'd be an agreed contracted price per some of these financial reports that are out. The other side of it as well is they would still continue to get dividend. All their bloody debt that they used to buy the club would not be taken out as part of it. That would still be laboured on Manchester United Football Club. So, in essence, there would still be a cluster of complicated financial arrangements if you're to believe these reports. But you did make one point about the megastore. And this is the question for those in the comments. Would you continue your blocking of purchases from Megastore if the Glazer family are retained in any fashion? Would you embargo any of the suppliers? Would you distance yourself from any of the TV companies because, in essence, they'd be flooding money into the Glazers' pockets because they would still be a beneficial owner? And to answer your question, Mr. B, the other 30% is the amount that's publicly traded, that's out there in various different holding companies. And there was speculation that Mr. Ed Woodward, under the instruction of Joel and Avram Rash, had been slowly hoovering up those shares in a suite of holding companies.
That is the part that I'm. As I said, nothing goes for we've watched Dallas, we've watched Dynasty. For all of you guys old enough to understand, we know that deals just don't go. They have their 55-minute program and it ends with a dut. There's going to be a lot more duts before this finishes, Rebel. That's the real part that's worries. They said, oh, first quarter it would have been sold. We were thinking, okay. I mean, we had Andy come on. Great. By this time in 3 months, we would have had this, and we'll be talking about how much we're going to have a £300 million war chest. Well, right now, let's be honest, we have no idea what our war chest is going to be, and even if they start the sale process tomorrow, it's not going to be done in time for the money to be spent or the money to be put somewhere else. All right, say Sheikh comes in, gets it today, without everything being finalized, even if he knows he's going to guarantee the club 400 million, but he can't give it to them until the club is sold.
Very true, very true. And that's a very poignant point to actually continue on to our main topic. But before we do, I'm going to pop this back up while OMONDI hits some comments for us.
Yeah, there's a few comments about this issue going on here. But I'm saying, to be honest, I trust the journalists a lot more than I trust Twitter, because a lot of information
actually, just one thing on that, Bat Time. It is actually one of the Daily Mail journals that reported the 800 to 1,000. So I would say that some of them are complicit in Glazer skullduggery.
The Mayhem saying here, sorry, Rebel, there's all in the business of making money. They are all in the business of making money. Taboo saying Jim cannot run the club, and that's why he's decided to go with the Glazers for help. It's mad that 20% of B shares hold more power than 50% of A shares. Glazers have to be the most powerful shares. Bart saying here, so Jim's son sons are Chelsea fans. Any new owner seriously needs to invest 1.5 billion in repairing the roof of the stadium, revamping Carrington, and most of all, settling all the debts. Ratcliffe out before he's not even here.
Ratcliffe, I like that one. Ratcliffe.
Half time saying it's just a question of a tick in it. Remember how one of those Glazers overruled 130 million Sancho bid? He gets the tick and input in the budget. It seems fairly reasonable. I want to say hi to Bilo. He says, "I'd love it to work for Sancho. I don't want another Martial." I'm going off topic there, but we'll come on to that very soon. Tobias Taboo, so he's saying Ratcliffe will get tortured at Man United. I promise you. He might be a fan, but the supporters group scary for him. HD Gamer saying Glazers sell about half the club for 4 billion and keep 20% of shares is criminal. Bath Time saying here, you ever think, Rebel, that they might want to hang on simply because of their dad? Rebel?
Just no chance. I think this is purely money motivated. And just as you mentioned, the A and B shares, currently the memorandum which governs the way the company that runs Manchester United Football Club is set up is only the Glacier siblings can own shares with voting rights. Obviously, anybody, not just Sir Jim, that would be foolish enough to get into a partnership with the Glacier family would not go in on condition that they wouldn't have voting rights shares. That would have to be part of the change in whatever company would then be set up to take over from the current existing Glacier sibling company that is the holding company for Manchester United Football Club.
Bart saying here, no country should be allowed to purchase a football club in the country, make a United example, and do not let another rich nation buy our club. Bart again saying United should become fan-owned as a big club that hasn't been relegated since in the early 70s. Make this an example.
Let Liverpool become the example first. We'll follow yours, mate.
Glazers are in trouble, says Taboo. I promise you 20 years. And they have nothing to show but debt. We've got one from Michael Hill. How you doing, Michael? He says, the only other Sir Jim I have heard... Okay. Bath I say, Rebel, get Ratcliffe's poisoning stats.
What he's referring to there is there was a checkered environmental track record for Ineos, which is Sir Jim Ratcliffe's company. You can read all about that yourself in Google.
Okay, and Jim, how you doing, Jim Mack? So sorry, a bit late to the channel and the chat. I think selling Sancho makes some sense. Great player. I'd be happy for him to stay, but I wouldn't be mad if he cashed in. And Vincent's in the house, and also Zoe Media House as well. And Rushmano last minute. We got La Rushmano turning up as well. So big up, everyone. We're going on to the next subject.
Yes, indeed, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. It's time for the main event of the evening. Mr. B is proud to provide you with the Sancho debate. There is rumours, I believe, Mr. B, that you made us aware of earlier today, that Mr. Sancho could actually make a return to Borussia Dortmund.
Yeah, their director of football did put it out there that they would be open to having him back as he excelled at their club. And as a club, they miss him around there. So just the fact that one is come out now when there seems to be little snippets about Sancho is what worries me. There's no smoke without fire, as they say, and I'm always saying that Garnacho is going to turn into the Sancho Slayer. I say it, and I say it all the time. Sancho, for Borussia Dortmund, incredible. If they would have sold him, if we had 130 or they had sanctioned the money, it would have been 130 that we would have spent on Jadon Sancho the season earlier. We got him for 75 million, and I'm still waiting to see a consistent Borussia Dortmund Jadon Sancho. Now, this season, I've been hoping that he's going to be playing more central. A couple of games he's come on and done these bits at the centre of the park, but I compare him to Bruno in that position, and there's just no comparison. I'm wondering, and I feel that he might be gone. I do really feel that the club are going to cash in, and he's going to be gone on Monday.
Mr. B, I mean, look, I like you, bro. We get on really well. But occasionally, even brothers fight, and this could be the main event because, Mr. B, you called Garnacho the Sancho Slayer, or what do you call him? Is it the
Sancho Slayer.
Slayer? So that, which means, in theory, that this guy's is going to turn up, take him out the side, and put him onto the bench. That's kind of thing, and that's big talk for a youngster. But you forget Sancho's also a youngster. He's achieved far more than Garnacho has. When Sancho was 19, he'd achieved far more, as you said, at Dortmund, proving that he's got money in the bank, and that is the money in the bank for me. We've seen him dominate, great stats in Europe in a decent league for a very good side, and he's done really well over there. Now you look at Haaland. Haaland had great numbers over there. He's transferred it to the Premiership. People are asking questions about Sancho because he hasn't had that smooth transition from that great form at Dortmund to settling at Manchester United. Now, we can ask ourselves why. I think it's a number of factors. I think he has to be a bit more professional. I think he has to learn a bit more physical side of the game. I think it's a different style of football than it is in Germany. I think he was under less pressure at Dortmund as well. He's come with a big price tag. And I think all these things combined caused a bit of pressure on him, which meant he had to take some time out this season. When well done to the manager, showing love and care for the player to get a better player out of him and to get a more professional player. And I think the manager's really good for doing that. I love Jadon Sancho. I always have. I followed him since he was about 14 years old, from Watford, from all the way to City. He was training with one of my friend's sons, coming through with a group of players like that, and he was the outstanding player. I remember in the World Cup they won, the Under-17s World Cup. He played the first group games, and he was already the best player in the tournament. England won the World Cup that year, but he was playing for Dortmund, and all these other players were sort of in the youth team, and he was playing for Dortmund and said, sorry, I just played the group games and I've got to go. And they dominated. He looked fantastic. They went on to win it, and they gave them momentum. These players with Angel Gomez and Phil Foden and all these guys that you see play coming through now. So when we look at players like Saka coming through and doing really well, Saka's had that grounding. He hasn't been touring around the world and doing all that kind of thing. Give Sancho some more time. No doubt. Is there a question mark about his talent? No. Is there a question mark about his desire? Maybe. This is something that can be improved. Okay? If he was a terrible player, like we say Maguire is, everyone says, oh, Maguire's making mistakes and doing things wrong. Then I can understand there's a debate there. But there's no debate for me about his talent. This guy is a brilliant young footballer. And I would compare him to someone like Jack Grealish, who, given times, 27 years old, is only now coming into his full potential and showing what a great player he is. Keeps the ball really well, like Sancho. Technique, great, like Sancho. I think he can come to that. That's the kind of measuring stick for him. Say, all right, I look at Grealish, I can get to that level. I'm a similar player to him. I can get to that level. And we'd be mugs to sell him just because we've got youngsters coming through. We've got 4 or 5 competitions to deal with next season, big competitions. Let's have great players in each position, fighting for those positions, because it's injuries, suspensions, as we realised this year, with Casemiro and Eriksen. So I think we should keep Sancho, and I don't think, it's great that Dortmund is sort of saying, oh, yeah, he should come back home where it's sweet here and it's easy going. Show your greatness, stay at Man United, and turn Mr. B's head like we did with Maguire a couple of seasons ago.
Okay, so you're gone, Rebel.
Quick one for you. So here's the numbers game. I'm going to take Sancho's ability completely out of the equation and just talk to you about raw numbers. At the goalkeeper position, it's likely that only one of the current goalkeepers will be with us in the squad next season. So that's going to be a significant change in one department. At centre-back, it looks like we will need to make sure that we game manage Varane next season because he's going to be a year older and he's a bit injury prone, and we need someone to support Mr. Martinez, which is currently Luke Shaw. It looks like Harry Maguire will be heading maybe back to Leicester in the Championship next season. Sorry, Monday, I had to get that in there. But in reality, there's going to be a 2 to 3 person shift in the central of defence, whether it's youngsters coming in filling bench spots and whether it's actual first team rotationary players. Then in midfield, again, we're going to have to make sure that we cover Eriksen. He's going to be a year older. We have to make changes to probably Donny van der Beek and a few others. And then there's the big one up top. We currently have only Anthony Martial and obviously Rashford deputising at the top of the point of the striking position. So it is likely, before you even touch a Jadon Sancho, between your McTominays and all these lads that are probably going to be going out the door, that there's about 5 to 10 players that are ahead on the exit chain. So mathematically, even if you had no belief whatsoever in Jadon Sancho, he is very far down the order of we need to move him now.
Okay. Can I just say something? How much money is Jadon Sancho on? 280? 290?
Roughly.
My bloody lights just bloody switched off.
Phil Jones out.
Blur of times. How you doing, man? Welcome to the channel.
So there we go. Yeah. So what's he on? 280, 290. We talk about reducing the wage bill at the club to get it at a respectable level. If you have a player who can't get into, not even going to say the starting 11 because it's just how it goes, but when Garnacho was playing, I understand Sancho wasn't there, but I believe if Sancho was there, he wouldn't have got a game. He wouldn't have got a game over Garnacho.
Garnacho only started 2 or 3 games.
Okay, and when he came on the sub, what sort of chaos did he cause as a sub? We've seen Sancho
against a tiring team, which is stretched at this point. He looks good. When we started games, he hasn't looked as great. He's still got a lot of developing to do.
And when Sancho comes on, Sancho
started last 2 games. We beat and we've done all right.
Just 2.
Yeah.
Just 2. That's the problem. Just 2. For a player of his ability, I think he should be doing more.
Yeah, I agree. There is a question mark. That's why we're having this debate right now. I think there is a question mark about Sancho. But like I'm saying, if it's talent, and you can say, well, maybe he can't get any better, I don't think that's a question. His talent's up here. What we're talking about is desire, mental stats, and work rate, or whatever it is that's affecting him. I think that can be worked on, as we've seen. He needs a slap in the face, like he had by taking some time out. Have a slap, a carrot and a stick. You play better, and we beat you sometimes. Get yourself together, man, because you've got a good career ahead of you. Just like Jack Grealish, there was question marks about his characteristics and his mentals before. And I keep comparing the two because I think there's a lot of they measure up really well. A few years ago, he's at Villa. No one really wants to sign Tottenham. Want to sign him? Nah. They got relegated. Nah. He's probably not. He's talented, but they've heard some rumours behind the scene. Likes to do that. Bit of a cheeky lad. Whatever. Same as Sancho. Something's going on with him. Maybe he's a rude boy. He likes partying. Likes his tattoos. Posing up. Tweeting with the other day.
Monday, I'm going to stop you on the Sancho thing. There was something that happened personally in his life that was talked about in the media. So maybe avoid that subject. There was other stuff going on that affected his personal life that wasn't to do with partying, but we won't go into that in the show.
I know we won't go into that, but I'm saying that's what I'm saying. That is the issue. It's not about his talent. It's about the other side of it. Repair him. That can improve. The ceiling of his talent is unbelievable. If you can match that and bring in the mentals into play and get him performing again, then it's gonna be great. And there's a £20 thing coming here for Rushmana. Rushmana, you're spending big money on us again, and we love that, bro. He's saying here, keep up the great content, lads. Loving Rab C, Rebel Look. You know what? Everyone, give a salute to Rushmana. We appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. It's not about the money; it's about the love. Respect for that, man. Maybe we can buy Rebel another. A shirt with sleeves or something.
Sleeves on.
Can I just say as well, I do want to say hello to J.R. Ewing, who's in the chat. How are you doing, Mr. Dallas?
There you go.
It's Dallas team today, like Mr. B brought up. But yeah, going back to this thing, I just want to say hi as well to Sudlan Mohammed. He said Sancho needs to go back to Dortmund. He's finished at United. See? This is people who always.
There you go. See, I mean, look. It's not even a barrier. I think. How much time do you give? You know me and Jadon. I like Jadon, but how much time do you give these players? I want him when he doesn't start. We're saying bloody hell, he should be starting. Bruno. We say that about Bruno. We say that about Martinez. We say that about Rashford. I want him to be that player when he doesn't start. We're saying, what is the manager doing? Casemiro starts. No problem. That's what I want. That's what I want from Sancho. And if he can't do that, I think we should cash in and get the money for him.
Here's one. JR saying Ten Hag was shouting dribble at Sancho all game on Sunday. Meaning to go on, maybe take people on, that kind of thing. I think he's making good decision making. He's not trying to do things and lose the ball. We said this the other day. I think when he gets the ball, we know that with that balance that he has, and with Anthony as well, we're going to keep possession at high up on the pitch. And I think that's really important. You don't want to lose the ball in those sort of areas. How many times have we been countered or had defenders with, suddenly having to sprint back? It's a horrible feeling. So I think Sancho really retains the ball brilliantly. And if nothing's on, he would just play it simple and bring our players into play. And this is what team football's about, Come Sunday, you can see Mr. B getting the ball and going on a run and not passing, not looking up or whatever. I said, we don't need that kind of play. I know how Mr. B plays. But with me, I'm a team player. I'll feed Mr. B all day. I'll be spoon feeding him. And it'll be on camera, guys. Don't forget this weekend, Sunday, we're playing Liverpool, Cop TV podcast. And myself, Mr. B, Errol, and a few other heads, Ed Mayhem as well, will be playing. And we will be recorded. You'll be seeing the best of me. A team player like Sancho, tight areas, good tight control, popping, that kind of thing. And this is what's going to benefit the team. I'm all about the team, and Sancho's about the team too. So I think we're going to be well. We do well to keep him and keep him on side. Stop. Another thing we have to factor in. Stop all this thing. Oh, he's got to go. Boo him, because that will come off in the stadium as well. People say, sighing. It's horrible. If you're a player, you're trying to do the right thing, and you feel people sighing. He's never had that before. He's had love at Dortmund. He's had love at Man City as a youth. He was a top boy. He's always been a top boy. Now he's got to deal with a bit of pressure and this sort of thing. So it's a really sort of tough time for him right now to build his foundation at Manchester United and show over the next couple of seasons just how good a player he is, and a squad player and a team player, because that's exactly what we need. We don't need Garnacho, blind alleys all the time. We need team players.
When Garnacho runs down that blind alley and causes chaos when he comes back, I'm going to remind you exactly what you said here, right?
I just wanted to say, lads, thanks very much for your input on that. I am going to bring something I'm going to surprise the two lads with. I do a thing on FTSN called Guess the Player, and now I'm going to be challenging my learned co-host, Mr. OMONDI Juma and Mr. B. You can, of course, play along in the chat. And for the purposes of the United agenda, I can tell you it is a Manchester United player, or was a Manchester United player. So, first guess, our first clue is going to go to a Monday. It's going to alternate back and forth. If you don't know, just say pass. So, this player was born...
we can use help from the chat, right?
You can pick an answer from the chat, should you so wish.
I don't need any help from the chat. I will get this. You know what I'm like. I'm the quiz master. Come on. Don't try to test me.
So on Monday, this player played at winger, left back, and central midfielder, having started his youth career at West Ham United.
Kieran Richardson. Now, next question, please.
Oh, for the love of Jesus.
Next question, please.
Well, that's that anyway, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children.
I'm the quiz master. You're not testing me with some knowledge. Just call me the knowledge. Actually, let me change my name on here.
Okay. In that case, then, Mr. OMONDI Juma.
No, Mr. B. I'm qualified.
No,
it's Mr. B's turn.
Well, you basically finished the guess the player. I have no more, but I am going to ask you a quiz question. Manchester United over the years.
No. I'm passed. I get a pass. Don't let Mr. B dig himself.
Sir, you do.
I'm put myself on mute. I'm not answering it. No, you're just trying to catch me out because I just destroyed your quiz.
Fair enough. Here, look, we'll ask one last question to do with transfers. As you know, Manchester United are currently evaluating all their centre-back options. So on the big screen, Mr. Juma, state your case for Harry Maguire. 30 seconds on the clock.
All right. I've, as you know, I endorse Harry Maguire. I think he's a good defender. But I understand that he probably doesn't want to be a squad player, which he is. And I accept that he is. He's not as good as Martinez. He's not as good as Varane. And I understand him being on the bench is not good enough. Partnerships are formed. It's really hard to break that. We might get the occasional game, but it's not enough if he wants to be playing for England in the next Euros. He's got a fantastic record, international record for playing, and he can't afford now, when he's starting to slip with appearances, to sort of play 10, 15 games, 20 games for Man United, and someone else will come ahead of him. So I think it's right that he moves on. He's had a lot of thick skin. He's been captain. He's been getting a lot of pelters from fans as well, and he's made a lot of mistakes. And it's hard. He hasn't got enough in the bank, in my opinion, to be saved at Manchester United. He needs to go and get regular first-team football for his future, and we wish him well. He's done the best he can. People say it wasn't good enough, maybe because of the price tag, but he's still a very good defender and one of the top 10 in the league.
Thank you very much, OMONDI. I do want to say to all our viewers, the 16 of you that are currently in the chat, please do continue to like, share and subscribe. To Rushmano for that very generous super chat, we thank you, sir, as well. So the final word, any other business, Mr. B, before we hit the road, Jack?
No, there's no more any other business, to be fair. I'm glad. I would like to congratulate Garnacho on successfully laying some pipe on his missus. He's got a little son on the way soon. God bless him. And that's the only other business that I can think of, to be fair. We've got Brighton on Thursday that I'm really, really looking forward to. I think, and I'm hoping that finally we're gonna lay that hoodoo of this away games. We will have the watch along. I will be what's the word? I won't be cussing. I'm convinced that it's going to be a beautiful night to work on thingy, and that's cement. I think to be fair, I think we're in top four. I think top four is ours, but it would be nice to cement that now, and then come the rest of the season, we might be able to see a Iqbal. We might be able to see a Mainu get a little bit. This is what I'm hoping for before the end of the season. Don't have these players and we don't see them until pre-season next season. Give them a little taste of what Old Trafford's going to be like,
Interesting. That just my last word, and I think Garnacho here. First I'm hearing about the pipe and having a baby. That's fantastic at his age as well. Maybe that will help him settle, and that's good. Managers want to see young players settle down, have a family base, not be going out every night on town and drinking up and that kind of thing. We don't need Romarios or sort of party boys at the club. And I think maybe Sancho, maybe needs to go on a dating site, find himself a good, wholesome woman and settle down. Maybe that would help him.
No comment, but applications for Sancho's partner to OMONDI Juma, London, United Kingdom. But ladies and gentlemen, I do want to thank you all for joining us. We will be back at the earlier time of 7 o'clock tomorrow and Wednesday. Wednesday, of course, will be the preview show, and we are expecting a very special guest, Mr. B, but we're not going to let the cat out of the bag just yet on that. And Vincent, if you wouldn't mind, could you remind us of that comment on May 3rd, Wednesday? Because we would like to mention the legendary Jimmy Murphy on the day, if you don't mind. So if you do remember, please do remind us on the 3rd, because we would love to do a little something on that front. But for tonight, that is it from me, Rebel, and the King of Cool, Mr. B, and the Party Pooper, the Quiz Breaker, the absolute OMONDI Glazier Head.
Just one more thing. One more thing. While we're on the Glazers thing, I bought a Man United shirt for my friend the other day, and I posted it online on social media. So, got myself a shirt and all that kind of thing. And one of my good friends said to me, "Oh, you're a traitor. Why are you buying merchandise, putting pocket money in the Glazers' pocket?" And I said, "It's not." I said, "I bought this through my friend. He's making money from it. It's not directly from the shop or whatever. It's nothing to do with that." So it just shows you the passion going on with that right now. And I agree with Mr. B about this week, Brighton. If we win away against Brighton, that's a great statement, like the statement we made against Villa. So I'm really happy to be a fan right now. And big up to Solo, who's just jumped in. We love you, Solo. We miss you. I hope you're doing well, bro. And Big G as well. How you doing? And everyone else who contributed today, especially Rushmano with that £20.
And can I just say to any of the YouTube executives that are listening, we do not condone the use of any third-party processing of any goods that have intellectual property rights attached to them. We are completely innocent of all this, so please do not come looking for us. We had nothing to do with it. And on that note, we're out.
Bye-bye.